The one, the only Lakers super fan, of course, our good friend Snoop is joining us. He just wanted to give us a little bit to wait for right now. Snoop, I know that you watched the Lakers last night. You saw what LeBron did. Are the Lakers even better than they were last year?
It's kind of hard to say that we better than we were last year because last year we won a championship.
Right.
So I think we just in the stages as far as getting to know each other. You remember that song, Getting to Know You?
Yes.
Getting to know about you. We're trying to learn our team right now. Like he said, Gasol moving a little bit slow. We missing Dwight and JaVale with the height as far as the height and being able to make people, stay outside. But I just feel like we're going to be all right. LeBron don't never put a team together that don't come through. I feel like he got all of the right pieces. I like Schroeder. I like the way that Kuzma's playing, Caruso. I just like the way the team feel right now. And I feel like they're going to gel and get it right by the time, the All-Star game comes.
Kuzma played well. I love what I saw from Kuzma last night. I think Snoop, finally he realized that, you know what, I can impact the game in other ways than just scoring. I can rebound the ball. I can play defense. He had like 3 or 4 block shots. I can set good quality screens. I just don't need to just score the basketball to have an impact on the game. And what I've seen over the last 4 or 5 games, the Lakers can win with that.
Right. I think he's mentally sharp now. Before he was just, shooting and trying to figure it out. Now he's understanding the mental, capacity that you have to win a championship. And I feel like LeBron has taught them that as far as like playing your role. Even when LeBron won his first championship, he had to come in playing a role. You understand what I'm saying? So it's role playing. Then he learned how to become a leader.
Snoop, I'm a little surprised. You've dialed it down a little bit about the Lakers. I'm impressed. I was very impressed with the way they played in the second half last night. But I'm impressed that you're just going slow but sure. You think they have some growing to do?
I think last year was harder for us to win, if you really want to look at it, because, it was stacked against us last year. This year, I feel like the East got more to offer. You know what I'm saying? Last year was West heavy. This year, it's kind of like distributed evenly. And then you're watching Golden State. They doing their thing without Clay. You watching the Nets do their thing. You watching the Sixers. You just watching a couple of teams that's, that could possibly shake up something. But you can't sleep on the Heat. You can't sleep on the Bucks. You can't sleep on a few teams. But it's still early. And, it may be some trades. It may be some injuries. It may be some things that happen. That's why I'm patient. And I understand that we playing for this right here, man. It's all about getting this. You understand me?
Hey, nephew, I know who we not worried about. I know who we not worried about.
Well, it sounds like he's sleeping on that team. You mean that team that stays in the basement at Staples?
Yeah, them. The sleepers. I mean, the Clippers.
What do you see in the Clippers? You don't think they're improved this year?
No, I'm not going to lie. They look damn good. Paul George looks amazing. I can't even front. They look amazing. But I'm waiting for the playoff because they seem to have a great regular season all the time, but just can't seem to get over the hump. So it's all about playoffs and getting to the championship. It ain't about getting to the Western Conference Final. It's about them championship or bust, and that should be their gameplay. And I respect the players over there, the owners, the coaches, the whole nine. I'm a Laker fan, diehard, but if you want to win a championship, it's got to be championship or bust right now for the Clippers, because if they don't get it now, they're not going to never get it.
So before we leave the Lakers behind, how much are you missing Dwight Howard and JaVale McGee in the middle of that, especially that defense?
Actually, I do miss them, Skip, because they did create a lot of havoc as far as making people readjust their thoughts and, come in with a different perspective. But I feel like it's a new dimension that you're dealing with now. Last year, you had to scheme to those guys. Now you got to scheme to this. So I like the way that we mixing and matching. And I wish JaVale and Dwight a lot of success, and Rondo for what they did for us last year, and Danny Green. We congratulate y'all. Thank y'all.
But we got Trez now. We got THT. THT a baller. Nephew, you see him getting that thing. Skill only reason he playing, he a clutch client. No, he clutch.
Hey, Shannon. When they give you 3 letters, when they first start calling me DOG, when they put 3 letters on you, man, you special when they give you 3.
Okay, you like that then. Okay, that's what I like to hear.
I love that. I love him, man, because he's silent. He don't do no talking, I ain't never seen him do an interview.
Nah, but he just a straight baller, straight energy.
Well, I want to know how much either of you guys love your new center who spells his name M-A-R-C, as in Gasol, Mark Gasol.
Hey, see, let me tell you about that, Skip. All that was to get Paul back. Bring in Mark later on in the season. Tell your brother, come on back. Let's double down. Gasol brothers, y'all get y'all championship together. Hello.
Hey, I think his brother, what is he, 40 now? I think his brother would be better than Mark would be at 36.
Yeah, Mark.
He's got the Mamba mentality. Remember, his brother played with Mamba. Mamba brought the best out of Paul.
Oh, did he?
Well, who gonna get the best out of his baby brother Mark? Because you know normally when somebody call you a Mark, that's not a good thing.
He gonna be all right. He got him a ship. He know what it feel like to win one. He come through in the clutch. I think his threes and his D's gonna come together when we need it most. Right now, we just need him to fill out where he's supposed to be and bring more to the table, be more productive on the offensive end and the defensive end. I think we're gonna be all right with him.
Okay, so Snoop, if you guys do get through the watered-down West, which most people think you will, how much do you fear what's happening in Brooklyn right now?
No fear at all, because it's a team basketball game. At the end of the day, it's about the team that gels the best. The team's got the best bench. The team's got the best coaching, and sometimes you got to have a little bit of luck in there as well. So I feel like we're going to be all right. And the matchup will break down to LeBron versus KD, or either LeBron versus Kyrie, or AD versus KD. That's great basketball at its highest level to see some of the top tier players going head up for that championship. Like once upon a time when we watched Golden State go up against, the Cleveland Cavaliers, that was some great basketball, championship basketball. So I look forward to a great championship from both sides, the East and the West.
If the Lakers and the Nets match up, you'd have to go back to find a matchup like this. You got to go back to the Lakers and Celtics when Kareem Magic Worthy was going against Bird, Parrish, and McHale.
Yep.
To have that kind of firepower, Skip, on both sides of the equation. When you got 4 All-Stars, basically 3-4 All-Stars on both teams. I don't know if we've ever seen it, and we might not see it again if we don't get that matchup this.
But the Nets would have more offensive firepower.
Oh, no question.
And then the Lakers would clearly have more defensive firepower.
Yeah, we've never seen an offensive firepower like what Brooklyn got, Snoop.
Never.
But Brooklyn thing is they got them all on the court at the same time, see? And that's the problem. If I was a coach, I would come to somebody and say, egotistically, somebody got to sit down because we want to be better when that bench come in so we can break it down just a little bit. Like all of that 3 at the same time on the court, that's cool, but it's going to become a certain time where it's like, I want the ball. Well, I want the ball. I need the ball. Well, what's happening? That ain't happened yet. That's going to happen.
Well, that's where you got to take advantage of them, is because when they're benched, because they don't have any depth. They don't have offensive firepower. Since they lost Karis LeVert, they traded him. Dinwiddie is out. So they don't have the offensive firepower once one or two of those guys leave. But what they try to do is always keep at least one of them on the court at all times. Because at any given moment, any one of those guys can go get you 20, 30 in a quarter.
All right, well, as much as I'm enjoying this NBA conversation, Snoop, please do stick around. We got to talk about the Super Bowl. It's that time of year, and we need your prediction. Tom Brady is playing in his 10th Super Bowl and going for his 7th win, while Patrick Mahomes is trying to win back-to-back Super Bowls for the first time since Brady did it 16 years ago. Snoop, I got to start with you here. Who wins on Sunday?
Oh, that's going to be a tough one. Because I love P. Diddy Mahomes. I call him P. Diddy because he don't stop. I love to see P. Diddy Mahomes back there doing his thing at quarterback. I love the way he runs the show with his offense, the dynamic receivers, and just the way Eric Bieniemy, the offensive coordinator of the year, is slinging that rock and calling them plays. And then on the other end, you got to give Leftwich and Two-Step Tommy some love, too, because Tom Brady's a bad, bad mother, man. I tell you. You don't ever want to bet against Black, and you don't ever want to bet against Brady. So it's gonna be a hard game. It's a good thing I'm a Steeler fan, right? Because being a Steeler fan, you know who I think will win the Super Bowl? The Steelers.
Man, I'm looking at this game. I think Skip doesn't think it's going to be high scoring, but I think it's going to be high scoring. I can see both teams getting into the 30. I anticipate both teams getting into the 30s. I agree with you, but Patrick Mahomes has been unbelievable. In his 3 years of starting, it's hard to say they've been a quarterback better the first 3 years starting in his career than what we've seen Patrick Mahomes, especially in his 2nd Super Bowl, and he's not even 26 years of age yet. I got it 38-34. I expect Patrick Mahomes to throw well over 300 yards, probably 3 touchdowns, and they win 38-34, Snoop.
I got a question, though. How important is those tackles that he'll be missing in this championship game? Shannon, you played in games like this. How
it's everything. It's everything. If they can get home, they're going to make Patrick Mahomes' life miserable. If they can't, he'll throw for 400.
So remember, you got Barrett, you got Ndamukong Suh, who's been quiet, but he's been deadly, and then you got that JPP guy, and the dog of their defense. I don't know if you know, is 4'5".
Devin White.
He's a
he a monster. He a monster.
He look like he played in my football league. He look like some of the kids that come out of my league. I like his get at.
So, Snoop, it sounds like your heart is saying Mahomes and your head is saying Brady and the Bucks.
I love them both. It's kind of hard because I'm a fan of both of them. Anytime you're a football fan, you love great football. And we watched Tom do it for 20, and he's still doing it. We watched P. Diddy come in the league and almost get there on his first year. If he get the ball back, if that overtime come back the other way, they may win.
Yep.
So it's like he actually been in the Super Bowl 3 years in a row, if you ask me. So he is the next coming of Tom Brady, and nobody in the AFC can deal with him. I'm over there in the AFC watching him just tear us up. Nobody can deal with him when the time matters. And we needed to see if Tom Brady can handle him because the 49ers had him on the hook last year, and they let him off the hook.
So if you had to pick this, what is your gut telling you? You would lean slightly which way?
Man, it's going to be hard to say because, remember, this is the first time a Super Bowl team has ever played at home. I don't know if that's an advantage or a disadvantage.
I'd say a slight advantage.
You think so? But then you got Patrick Mahomes and his team that have been there before. So it's like Brady's team hasn't been there. It's a few in there that have, but this whole team has been there with the exception of Le'Veon and a few acquisitions. But this whole team know the feeling of being in that big game and knowing how it feels to be down and to come back from big games. Brady squad, I just feel like they got to seize the moment. Everything got to work perfectly for them. Everybody got to be on high cylinders. So I'm looking for an overtime game. I think it's going to be that good.
Yep. Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.